Ever noticed those videos on the internet telling you that you can simply alter reality with your mind? Well, they are not entirely correct, but they have a certain grain of truth, so why not dive a bit into this? I've said throughout my videos that I am here to present certain realities or certain things that people simply get lost into. See, a lot of the things nowadays function like this. Stupid people cannot realize something, cannot comprehend something, so they will invent something, yes, and they will want everyone else to follow on that. It doesn't matter how much damage they create, because the only thing that they want is other people's attention, even if just for a bit. This has been going on for hundreds of generations, so don't think it is something right new. Social media highly amplify this because of how much viewership one can have. Yes, some people's brains are so attuned to that sound that they got an extra view, an extra like, or things like that. It doesn't matter to them that many people simply like stuff and then they just scroll away. A like, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that someone wants your videos or likes your content regardless. So now let's dive into the idea of so-called altering reality. See, most people live life unconsciously, which means that 95% of everything that they do is done by their brain. Yes, some people's lives are so chaotic that if you'd have to use 15% of your brain's capacity, you would make your life 100 times more horrible. Yes, so living life unconsciously is not necessarily a bad thing. All animals do that, yes, and they do perfectly fine. The only cost, they live perfectly, uh, but at the same time, yes, they have a perfect life, but they live fully based on their survival. Yes, that's why all animals in the wilderness, they have their instincts so sharp. Yes, but when it comes to us humans, we live in comfort. So therefore, we don't need that many reflexes unless we probably use them in the military or in video games or other such demanding possibilities or let's say fields of activity. When it comes to reality changing, see, this unconsciousness of the mind is a big problem of each and every one of us. Because in unconsciousness, you become a mold or a slave of circumstance. But I prefer calling people a mold because you don't have any direction, so something else will find the direction for you. That direction means you are going to focus and get used to focusing on something. It's very easy to get stuck in the dense emotions, hence why a lot of people get stuck in drama, in hatred, and things like that. Why do you think so called racism and the such are so proliferating nowadays? Anything you say nowadays is misinterpreted to racism because people are obsessed with this idea. They feel that they are doing something good and that they are also functioning similar to other people. Yes, that is why they are so obsessed with things like this. People have forgotten what true racism and xenophobia actually mean, but they just act as police officers and more like robots. No awareness, no discernment at all. Something is misinterpreted, they will start jumping and yelling and pissing their eyes, just like real Karens would do. And the brain simply finds pain and it tries to remove it. So that is why something that would hurt you in time, you become numb towards it, so it no longer feels that it's hurting you. Though the pain is still existent in there, but the brain simply removes that or numbs that part down. Typically, it happens by numbing your emotions. Suddenly, people feel dead, but at least there is no more pain. When you feel dead, well, there is a problem. Because as you age, you don't remember anything nice about your life, even if you may have had the best life possible. But when you're on your deathbed, the only thing you remember in the end is your emotions and the power of emotions that you have manifested towards a specific event or, well, whatever you liked or disliked in your life. Everything that happens to you, you can like or dislike, yes? Your brain does not have any awareness. Your mind doesn't have any awareness as well. But what you choose to focus on, your energy will simply be used towards that. If you like drama, you see that everything around you feels like drama. And if we think a bit about successful people, they choose to train their brain towards finding solutions, yes, and towards planning. Planning is the most important thing for them because they make plans which they seek to follow fervently. Because without a plan, they have no direction. Without any direction, your mind is just a victim of circumstance. Yes? Everything in this world is made to simply distract you. Because distraction means your energy will go in all sorts of ways, but not towards one that will improve your life. And you will start shaming, guilt tripping yourself, and well, that's a death spiral, as we all probably feel guilty already about it. So when it comes to this idea of manipulating reality, you're not manipulating reality. Living life unconsciously means that your mind will simply weed out all the possibilities, all the things that you are not interested in, just like social media does. You scroll on some videos, you look on some topics, then you're going to be flooded by that. Your brain doesn't function in any different way. It's the exact same way. You focus on drama, everything around you feels like drama. And you're going to focus on something. You're even going to misinterpret things as drama first and foremost. If you have some patience and wait, you'll see in the end that the video or the situation was not initially drama. Yes? But usually people are in reaction mode, so they will react stupidly to everything. They see a few seconds of a video, they think it's drama, they will send some stupid comment and they will move on. Yes? So people, successful people, focus on the great things, finding solutions to problems and doing things while focusing on those. One thing at a time and only one or two, three things, important things at a time per day. Yes, that's how they end up doing something very well because they spend their energy on something or a few things, but in a very persistent way. Persistence and patience are something that poor people lack, hence why their mind is so ruined and why their life is also ruined. Because we all have 24 hours a day and you all have kind of the same energy levels. Yes, gurus and other such people with high spiritual practice, that's a different thing. But mundane people will usually have kind of the same energy. It's just that successful people use it in more optimized ways. And they have trained their minds. It takes a lot of time and concentration and effort, but when you can do things in a very optimized way, in a very patient way, and in a very precise way, it feels like you are unstoppable for the others, right? And it feels like they are hacking reality. They are not hacking shit. Their brain simply no longer removes all sorts of possibilities. See, it's like you're stuck on a corridor and there are hundreds of doors. Some of them, some of them have the note tag on them, help. Yes, if you enter there, a problem of yours is solved. Most of the doors have drama on it, or problems, or things like that. And based on what people want, if they want problems in their life or how to cause problems in other people's lives, they will only see that tag. Any other tag like help, success, or anything else feels like a fear, feels like a loss to them. So they will simply disregard it. They will see the sign, but the brain will simply discard that information because you have taught it that you do not want that. Successful people will not care about the drama, they will go for the help, they will go for the problems, because a successful person will also seek problems, but they will seek a problem to learn the lessons of it so that they can provide some value to other people. Because providing value is what makes you a successful person. Maybe not necessarily financially, but it creates a certain stability within you. The more you learn, the more you can expand. So there is this difference, yes, that you can simply alter your perception of reality, not reality itself. Reality happens in all of its myriads of billions upon billions of possibilities. The fact that you're attuned to only a small bit of those, yes, that is your own choice, your own karma, the path that you chose, whatever it is that which you focus on. Yes? But when we think a bit more about that, the more conscious one becomes, the less attachy they become, the less attachments they create, the less emotional investment they have, so therefore things will become less convoluted. Everything becomes more or less a choice. You invest into it or you don't invest into it with anything at all. Yes? So now everything is no longer just a label. Yes? A hook that will keep you distracted. Yes? Whether it is drama, you identify it as drama, you don't take it into account. Whether it is a problem, it is someone else's problem, not yours. You simply move along. And then when it is something that you can pursue, like a new course, a new skill to learn, or whatever you seek to do in life, then you will simply pursue that because anything else becomes somewhat redundant. The biggest problem of most people nowadays is that they think they have time. They have never been met with their own mortality. Yes? Once someone is met with their own mortality, that is when they will know they have limited time. So that is when they will start doing things, right? But, well, hopefully this video raised a bit of awareness. Remember that you're not altering reality. In a way, you can alter reality by some occult practices, but those may have some costs because you're not altering reality. See, a lot of people will tell you that you can visualize things and you can manifest them in your reality. Imagine that you are visualizing that when you get back home from work, you will find a place to park your car. Yes? And then you come back at home, and then, surprise, surprise, you actually have a place to park your car. Unfortunately, this can trigger something which is called confirmation bias. Something which is not grounded in reality sounds truthful for you, and then, well, you're gonna take it as truthful and you're gonna sillily function by it. You're gonna follow it in a silly way. Let's elaborate a bit. The fact you found a place to park your car is not necessarily something you have manifested because in the end, think about that, other 100 people may want to park their car in there, and out of those, probably 10 people will most likely park that car right before you, or up to 10 people might happen to get home a bit earlier than you and park their car specifically in any place that you could have parked your car as. And also think a bit of another point. If you're thinking that you're visualizing that, well, when you leave work, obviously we all that have a car think, well, I really wish I get a parking lot as close to home as possible, especially in crowded cities, yes? But imagine that each and every person that goes away from home, well, obviously will imagine that. They all wish they would have a parking lot if they don't have a garage at home, yes? So imagine how much of a struggle, how much of an energy warfare will rise just because 100 people imagine the same thing. And they have to park their car, let's say, in a place where there's only 90 cars. Yes, obviously, first come, first served. But, hope you get the point that I'm saying. Hopefully this video raised a bit of awareness. You're appreciated, take care, enjoy life, and this being said, Ferenc Board signing out.